Oh. Hariom, and greetings from Niagara Falls. Many of us live near the Atlantic Ocean, and there's an Atlantic current that flows deep within the Atlantic Ocean that regulates temperatures in North America, in Northern Africa, and in Europe, all of the places the Atlantic Ocean touches. However, on account of the way that humans live, our lifestyles, this current, which is systematic, which is integral to just temperature regulation, is going to collapse. And scientists have shared that this is going to collapse much sooner than what was projected. And one of the ramifications of this is that the ocean levels will increase by a minimum of 50 centimeters and a maximum of 100 centimeters. That is a really apocalyptic visualization. Now, I just shared greetings from Niagara Falls, and I jumped right into a reason to be deeply dejected. That I may not be causing this, but we humans are. The antidote to feeling dejected is trying one's best. That's the antidote. When I've tried my best, really, as Pujaswami Chinmayananda shared, one does start to shed feelings of dejection, anxiety, stress. One really can practice leave the rest. And this is why we have a loving earth Sangha. It is the facet of our community that's trying to love the earth the way that our earth loves us, trying. Really, this is an expression of doing our best so that whatever happens to the world on account of the weather, we were part of the solution and not part of the problem. This evening, we are engaged in our Devi Ganga celebration, which is part of our Calm the Body movement. Our Calm the Body movement has three facets to it. One of them is giving our tan. This relates to the body, and that is our running from the mind, community, or challenge. How many of you have signed up for this? How many of you have started training for this? It's very different between signing up and actually training, yes? That's done. Then there's also the offering of dhan. And our community right now is trying to support the Alliance of the Great Lakes with $25,000. And I love the word alliance. It's like we've made an alliance with a charity that's made an alliance with nature. And nature belongs to all. And the third part is offering man. So offering tan, running from the mind. Offering dhan, Alliance of the Great Lakes. And offering man, this is us gathering with the feeling of coming to unity, being catalyzed by nature, specifically being catalyzed by Devi Ganga, who's beautifully described, felt through the Ganga Stotra. We got to listen to a little bit of that earlier, and we'll listen to more of this. The Ganga Stotram helps those care for the physical by understanding the metaphysical nature of that which is physical. For the typical person, the river Ganga is another river, like the Mississippi River or the Niagara River. And if it's just another river, we may not care for it so much. But the Ganga Stotram is an attempt by Acharya Shankara for one to understand the metaphysical beauty and power of the river Ganga. That way we care for the whole experience more. Ganga Stotram has 14 verses. This year we'll be trying to organize 4 Loving Earth Sangha workshops, and so my aspiration is to complete half of Ganga Stotram this evening. And what's really cool is this is written by Acharya Shankara, and his Jayanti, his birthday, is in 2 days. So what a great way to give Acharya Shankara a birthday gift from us. And more so, 1 month from now, many of us will actually be in Gangotri on our way to Gaumukh. Gangotri is where you get to access the Ganga by vehicle. Gaumukh is where you get to access the Ganga by foot. Gaumukh is where the glacier melts to become the river that comes to Gangotri and so many other places we've been to. With this, I'm going to chant the verses that we've studied so far and offer a brief review as we keep moving forward. You're welcome to chant with me. Knowing this was part of your Ram was to listen to the offering by Pandit Jasraj and to try to follow along. Devi Sureshwari Bhagavati Gange Tribhuvana Tarini Tarala Tarange Shankara Mauli Viharini Vimale Mama Matirastam Tava Pada Kamale. Joy. There are many references in these verses that begin with TRI. 3 is where the word 3 comes from. And the reference here is that the river Ganga operates in 3 dimensions. One of the dimensions is the dimension of the omni-God, like Bhagwan Narayanan, Bhagwan Shiva. But then comes to the other dimension, a lower dimension, and that is of the semi-gods. Many of us who are exploring the Mahabharata, we know about the reason that Devi Ganga became the river Ganga. And then naturally, I was thinking about how to describe humans. If there's an omni-god and a semi-god, does that make us quarter gods? Rationally, that's what it makes us, correct? So this is an experience of ours in this dimension as well. Verse 2. Bhagirati Sukhadayini Mata Stavachala Mahima Nigame Khyata Naham Jane Tava Mahimanam Pahi Kripa Mahimam Ajnanam. Joy. The river Ganga, which is an expression of Devi Ganga, is one that restores. The way that Bhagirata's family was restored, the way that someone who's thirsty or someone who's frustrated, when they drink or they even see Devi Ganga, they're restored. This is what is strongly shared in the 2nd verse. So if you ever find that you're being dismantled physically, mentally, invoke Devi Ganga. She is restorative. Verse 3. Haripada-padya-tarangini gange hima-vidumukta dhavala-tarange turi kuru mama dushkrati bharam kuru kripaya bhavasagara param. Joy. I briefly touched on this verse, so I'm going to open this up more. Hari is like Bhagwan Hari. Pada means his feet. Padya is the water that is used to wash his feet. Bhagwan Brahma was offering Pada Puja to Bhagwan Narayana. That is the original way that Devi Ganga has come from Bhagwan Brahma's Kamandalu, his water pot. That's how they define it. And going to Bhagwan Narayana's feet to his toes. And there's many words that describe how she is a Tarangini. She is Ganga. These are all words describing her being water. Out of all of our needs, more important than cleanliness is food. More important than food is water. Water is a sign of life. So this is shared a lot. And what color is this water? It is hima. Hima means snow. It would be hard for you to believe, but half an hour ago, it seemed like there was a blizzard outside in Niagara Falls in the middle of April. So when I often travel to Texas or Florida and they talk about winter, we're in April and we're still in winter. And Vidhu means like the moon. And Mukta means like a pearl. Dhavala Tarange, her waters, her waves are all of the color of whiteness. Now, what's fascinating about this is these are the same descriptions of Bhagwan Shiva. There's one distinction, though. Bhagwan Shiva is often described to be the color of jasmine. Jasmine. So just for your own reference. And all of this is indicative, in a more personal way, of sattva. Sattva. What is the color of sattva? If sattva had a color, what would it be? White. And these are all descriptions of that which is white like the moon and white like snow. So her waters look like this, but the implication is for one to swim into sattva. And if one does, duri kuru means take far away from me. Mama, what is close to me, and that is dushkriti bharam. It is the weight I feel because of my wrong actions with wrong attitudes. You can do this for me because kripaya, your nature is of the nature of grace. And this is not an ordinary grace like grace marks or grace with some sort of interest in reference to a bank. Bhavasagara param, through your grace, one is able to cross over not a river, not an ocean, but the ocean. And that's the ocean of becoming. This really is a disease we drown in. She is one who can grace us to stop becoming and to start being. One more insight, an awesome insight about how water can help one cross over water. When we think of our guide and we think of Guru Stotram, not Ganga Stotram, but Guru Stotram, there's a particular verse that says, the water that is used to wash a guide's feet, that dries up this ocean of becoming. And that's a powerful contradiction. How can water dry? But this is a unique water, just like the River Ganga is a unique water. Verse 4. This is all new content now. Tava jalamalamalam yena nipitam paramapadam kalutena grehitam Now you please chant. Tava jalam amalam yena nipitam paramapadam kalutena grihitam. Matar Gange tvayo bhakta kilatam drashtam nayama shakta. Matar Gange tvayo bhakta kilatam drashtam nayama shakta. We'll chant this together at the end. Joy in opening up some of these teachings. Tava jalam, your water is amala. It has no parts per million of anything other than pure water. But more so, Yena, the one who nipitam, the one who drinks this and allows this to flow into them, paramapadam kalutena grihitam, indeed, they're ones who are able to hold on to that which is the highest. That which is the highest. Now, explaining this a little bit in terms of how this is possible, if one takes the river Ganga and infuses this with bhava, with meaning, all of a sudden that jala turns into jnana then, turns into knowledge or insights. And that's the only way that one can be their most authentic and deep self, is through the insight of what one's nature is. So whenever these references are used about purity, certainly there's an external purity, but we're trying to develop the bhava or the feeling so that this causes greater internal purity. And the utility of this, Mother Ganga, you are not just a river, you are a mother. Tvayo bhakta, and anyone who feels love for you the way one would feel love for their mother, and this is awesome. Kilatam drashtam, which means the ability for one to even see, nayama shaktaha, the icon of death, is powerless to even be able to look at us. When we're able to feel Devi Ganga, then Yama doesn't have power to touch us. Yama doesn't have power to look at us even. Yes, you know, when we're really mad at someone, we just don't look at me. But this is in a positive way. Let's chant this together. Tava jalam amalam yena nipitam paramapadam kalutena grihitam Matar Gange tvayo bhakta kilatam drashtam nayama shaktaha. 5. Patito dharini janavi gange khandita girivara mandita bhange. Patito dharini janavi gange khandita girivara mandita bhange. Bhishma janani he munivara kanye patita nivarini tribhuvana dhanye. Bhishma janani he munivara kanye patita nivarini tribhuvana dhanye. Joy. Patita means the one who's fallen. And what does she do for those who have fallen? Udharani. She doesn't just lift them, there's an upliftment. Like the subsection of the Mahabharata that we're completing right now. And she does this in many ways, one of which she is Janavi, which means she is the child of Jannu, Rishi Jannu. When Raja Bhagirath was able to bring the waters from Bhagwan Narayana to Bhagwan Shiva to our earth, then just imagine that force. And this force was going all over the place. And at one point, it had overwhelmed the ashram of Rishi Jannu. And so what do you do if there's too much water in your space? You dry it up. But how do you dry up so much water? He drank it. He actually drank all of the river Ganga. And Raja Bhagiratha was someone who knew the best way to ask for forgiveness, to apologize. And Rishi Janu agreed. And that water, it didn't come out through his nose and like, oh, I drank too much water and we cough it out. It came out of his ears in a very systematic way. And there's so much detail to this, but the point is that what comes from a rishi, we should be listening to this carefully. Now, what are some of the careful details of her? Kandita, she's one who as if divides giri, mountains. Varamandita Bange, she as if cuts mountains, but really she's the ornament of mountains. These waters that flow over and through the crevices, they're not cutting those mountains, even though technically they are, but more so, the idea is that they're beautifying those mountains. And I'll take the second line too, and I'm supposed to cover 2 more verses. Who knows how this is going to happen? She is Bhishma Janani. She is the mother of Acharya Bhishma. And now we've invested a lot of time and insight into understanding this connection. Muni Varakanye, this again is referring to Janu Muni. She is the Kanya. She is the daughter of this Muni. Patita Nivarini. She helps to people who are feeling dejected, for them not to feel dejected. And she does so by Tribhuvana Dhanye, by taking the best of all dimensions and bringing it to us. Let's chant this together. Patito dharini janvi gange, khandita girivara mandita bhange, Bhishma janani he munivara kanye, patita nivarini tribhuvana dhanye. The forthcoming verses, all the way to 14, we will complete this year through Devi Ganga's grace. The when, the how will be found. This is our Ganga Stotram for now, and we continue with our Devi Ganga celebration. Our team will continue.
Hari Om Vivek ji, and welcome to all for our first community celebration as part of Calm the Body movement. Thank you so much to Vivek ji for teaching the meaning behind Ganga Stotram and inspiring us to apply these teachings. The overall flow for today is designed to help us align our head, heart, and hands to loving and serving our Mother Ganga and Mother Earth. Taking the inspiration from Vivekji with the wisdom of Ganga Stotram fresh in us, let us move forward from head to heart through singing together with Samya from Albany, a young seeker who's passionate about the loving earth, and Kamaniji from London, who has incorporated loving earth practices at Chinmaya Hanuman. This will be a lead and follow format. Please follow along and sing with a full heart. Hurry up.
ॐ देवी सुरेश्वरि भगवति गङ्गे
देवी सुरेश्वरि भगवति गङ्गे
त्रिभुवनतारिणि तरलतरङ्गे
त्रिभुवनतारिणि तरलतरङ्गे
शङ्करमौलिविहारिणि विमले
शङ्करमौलिविहारिणि विमले
मम मतिरस्तां तव पदकमले
मम मतिरास्तां तव पदकमले
भागीरथि सुखदायिनि माता
भागीरथी सुखदायिनी माता
तव जलमहिमा निगमे ख्याता
तव जलमहिमा निगमे ख्याता
नाहं जाने तव महिमानं
नाहं जाने तव महिमानं
पाहि कृपामयि मामज्ञानम्
पाहि कृपामयि मामज्ञानम्
हरिपदपाद्यतरङ्गिणि गङ्गे
हरिपदपाद्यतरङ्गिणि गङ्गे
हिमविधुमुक्ता धवलतरङ्गे
हिमविधुमुक्ता धवलतरङ्गे
दूरीकुरु मम दुष्कृतिभारम्
दूरीकुरु मम दुष्कृतिभारम्
कुरु कृपया भवसागरपारम्
कुरु कृपया भवसागरपारम्
तव जलममलं येन निपीतम्
तव जलममलं येन विपीतम्
परमपदं खलु तेन गृहीतम्
परमपदं खलु तेन गृहीतम्
मातरगङ्गे त्वय्यो भक्ता
मातर्गङ्गे त्वय्यो भक्त
विनतं द्रष्टुं नयमशक्त
विलतं द्रष्टुं नयमशक्त
पतितोद्धारिणि जाह्नवि गङ्गे
पतितो धारिणि जाह्नवी गङ्गे
खण्डितगिरिवरमण्डितभङ्गे
मण्डितगिरिवरमण्डितभङ्गे
भीष्मजननि हे मुनिवरकन्ये
भीष्मजननि हे मुनिवरकन्ये
पतितनिवारिणि त्रिभुवनधन्ये
पतितनिवारिणि त्रिभुवनधन्ये
कल्पलतामिव फलदां लोके
कल्पलतामिव फलदां लोके
प्रणमति यस्त्वां न पतति शोके
नमति यस्त्वां न पतति शोके
पारावारविहारिणि गङ्गे
पारावारविहारिणि गङ्गे
विमुखयुवति कृततरलापाङ्गे
विमुखयुवति कृततरलापाङ्गे
तव चेन्माता स्रोतस्नात
तव चेन्माता स्रोता स्नात
पुनरपि जठरे सोऽपि न जात
पुनरपि जठरे सोऽपि न जात
नरकनिवारिणि जाह्नवि गङ्गे
नरकनिवारिणि जाह्नवी गङ्गे
कलुषविनाशिनि महिमोत्तुङ्गे
कलुषविनाशिनि महिमोत्तुङ्गे
पुनरसदङ्गे पुण्यतरङ्गे
पुनरसदङ्गे पुण्यतरङ्गे
जय जय जाह्नवि करुणापाङ्गे
जय जय जाह्नवी करुणापाङ्गे
इन्द्रमुकुटमणिराजितचरणे
इन्द्रमुकुटमणिराजितचरणे
सुखदे शुभदे भृत्यशरण्ये
सुखदे शुभदे भृत्यशरण्ये
जय जय गङ्गे जय हर गङ्गे
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 That was so beautiful. Thank you so much, Samya and Kamini ji. Thank you so much for this lovely singing. We hope you can continue with the additional verses during our July session. We now shift into Karma Yoga, aligning our hands with our head and heart. Today, we are doing this in three ways: through society, through community, and through our individual action. As we learn and chant the Ganga Stotram, we remember that all water is sacred, and, and when something is sacred, we like to protect it. With that bhava, at the society level, we ask all to offer their support to the experts in water protection From the Alliance for the Great Lakes. After the last Loving Earth Sangha in January, an action item we took was to identify the current water issues in our cities, states, provinces. A common concern is the water impact of data centers. There is uncertainty, a lack of clear information, rising cost, and questions about intense water use. So, the Alliance for the Great Lakes has done the research and explains how data centers use water, what the impacts can be, and have created a simple playbook to help communities ask the right questions. This connects directly to what our Loving Earth Sangha has been exploring since January. The organization also does so much more. Let us watch a short video that captures this beautifully and all the information. Thank you so much for watching that video. Now, supporting this work through society action and bringing it closer to our we looked at the society, now bringing it closer to our community action. We would love to hear all of you to just take a minute and just what you learned from our previous Loving Earth workshops, any insights that you learned and that really resonated with you. Can you please write in the chat just one insight? Nature and God are one. Yes. Thank you, Vivekji, for that. Responsibility, not a hobby. Yes. Yes. Anybody else? These are all great sharings. You all can look at the chat. Yeah, you're all correct. These are great sharing, and we've been learning through our Loving Earth workshops. So, to help us deepen and continue this journey, we are releasing our systemized curriculum called Awareness to Action on none other than our Earth Day on the 22nd of April. It offers 34 lessons with videos, activities, and small initiatives created with guidance of spiritual guides and environmental experts. It is meant to support us as Prithvi Mitras practicing Ananya Bhakti. So don't miss it. It will be released on the 22nd of April. So check it out. So now we will move for action as an individual level. And I would like to invite Saurabh to share some simple advocacy steps we can each take in our own lives. Over to you, Saurabh. Hari.
Hari Om Vivekji, Hari Om everybody. Excited to transition this celebration a little bit and talk about now some of the individual actions that we can all be taking to support our water in our areas. So before I share my screen and fully dive into it, I want everybody to take a moment and think about, water bodies near you. Maybe from following our previous sessions, maybe you learned where the water that's coming out of your tap comes from. I know for me, I live in Seattle, so it's the snow we get in the mountains turns into rivers and goes into the lakes, and that's eventually what feeds my soul and my water. But for you, maybe in middle of the country, maybe there's an underground aquifer or there's mountains and rivers and lakes. So I want you to just hold that as we kind of move through this. So let me share my screen here. So as we think about that and kind of that water, so let's this is how the water might be experiencing itself. It's coming from, say, a river, and it gets treated and goes into our indoor use or maybe our outdoor use if we're watering our plants. And some of it gets used up and returned into nature itself, and some of it we put back into the river. And so this is how our actions can impact what comes out as an ally and our part in the water system. And so the actions we take individually can have a great impact in what this system might look like. And so for our dynamics today and for our advocacy, we're asking everybody to take the pledge to be a water ally. And so this is a pledge that comes from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. But we've taken some of these items here and created our own tracker and spreadsheet to help us learn from one another and stay connected through this process of taking action to save water. So we are going to go ahead and put this link in the chat so everybody can access it. And what we'll do in the next few minutes is take some time to read through these actions in column A. And you can enter your name here in one of these cells. So I'm going to go ahead and put my name here. And I'm going to read through these actions that are here and find ones that make sense for me to be able to take on to reduce my water consumption and conserve water and support our water system. And for now, maybe I'm going to just put an X next to it or say I'm going to commit to this. And in the coming month, work on actually implementing this action over time. And I'm going to come back to this and write a reflection on how it went. Maybe it was easier than I thought. Maybe something came up or I learned something along the way. And so, yeah, I'm gonna go through here and kind of read through it and see kind of things maybe that I'm already doing or things that I think I can do. Go ahead and mark that. So I, take a moment to read through this. If you want to learn more about each of these actions and maybe why it's important, you can click on the link that's within each cell. So if you just kind of hover over the cell and click on it, it will pop up a link that tells you a little bit more about, why is this important, gives you some more details about how you can take action. So I want to draw everybody's attention to this, and I invite community members to put their names, commit to at least 2 to 3 actions here, and let's learn from one another on how we can make this happen. And some of these might apply to more people than others. Like I live in an apartment, so I don't have a lawn that I necessarily can water. So that might not be something that I can do, but for sure, reducing my shower time or turning the water off while I'm brushing are things that I'm able to do. Now, the first action here you might notice is learn about the rebates tab. So some of these actions are going to ask you to install something, maybe upgrade a piece of equipment in your home. And as someone who works in government, there's lots of ways that government can help you do this, and there's resources out there to support you as well. So we invite you in this process to support each other and identify ways that we can expand on these individual actions to a community and a society level. So you can research rebates and incentive opportunities in your area that might help you make some of these conversions. So I, for example, live in Seattle, right? So I found this rebate in Washington State in the Seattle municipality that gives you $100 off a water efficient toilet or $100 off a smart water system for the sprinkler in your yard. So these are ways that you can wait programs you can access to help you save some money in this process as well. So we invite you as you kind of go through this to add resources here for other community members to learn from, and maybe they realize that there's an opportunity to save some money out there. So we've started adding some, but I think one thing we can ask everybody to do is commit here to learning what rebates and incentives are in your area and adding them to the rebates tab. So can that's kind of one thing we know that we can do, and you can add it to the tab here. So I am going to now give everybody a couple minutes to read through these, take a little bit of time to digest what these items are, and go ahead and sign up for what you think you will do, and maybe note some things you've already done. So that way, if I'm interested in doing one of these, I can reach out and maybe say, hey, how did this go? And learn from one another. I think that it looks like the names might have disappeared here. So we can troubleshoot that and try to bring that back. But let's go ahead and just put our names here. And so take a few minutes to do that. I'll also invite anybody who maybe has taken some of these actions and would like to share. I would invite them to have a quick moment to share in the chat how it went for you, anything you learned, any reflections. Because this, again, is really about working together and supporting each other as a community through these actions that might be an individual action. And I can't see the chat, unfortunately. So so if there is something, somebody feel free to read out. It's I'm gonna go ahead and be putting my things in here too. And these are actions that we found on the EPA website, but if there's others, feel free to brainstorm those, and we can add them in and note them under additional dedication so we can see what else there might be that folks can do. So we'll keep circling back to this over time to hear from each other on how things are going. And so it's super great to see so many people already be putting their commitments on here and noting things that they already do and things that they're going to do. So it's extremely exciting. And I'm just going to come back again to this, right? Because these individual actions all add up over time, and can make maybe this arrow a little bit smaller, and we preserve more of that water for the health of our earth, and help us to love our earth and the systems that it's operating and running on. So it helps us be an ally to the water system. So that's ultimately the actions that we're trying to take here. So would encourage folks to keep adding to it as we go through it. Keep checking in on this tracker, save the link, add it to your bookmarks, and hopefully we'll learn from one another. So with that, for the last portion of this celebration, we are going to wind down and calm our bodies with yoga guided by Pallavi. So Hari Om, thank you, and I'll hand it over to Pallavi.
Hari Om, everyone. I hope you are doing well. Now that we are starting to conclude our celebration, figured we can close out our practice with a little bit of movement. So I will actually ask everyone to go ahead and stand up if they feel comfortable to do so. If you don't, no worries. You can also do many of these seated. Just follow along however you can. Now, the Ganga is seen as a source of purification, of renewal, of life. And similarly, in that same sense, our breath and our movement can help us to do the same, to release what we no longer need and return to a sense of ease. So we'll begin by standing up nice and tall in mountain pose. Make sure that your feet are in line with your hips, toes pointing forward. Shoulders are rolled back. Chin is parallel with the floor. Good. And we take a nice, long, deep breath in through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Sigh it out. Good. One more, just like that. Inhale through the nose and exhale, release. Interlace the hands and raise them up overhead. Take a moment, notice if the shoulders are coming up towards the ears. If they are, roll them back. Give yourself some space. Good. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, start to hinge from the hips, sway to the right. Good. As we are in the hours of night, we will take our practice slow and easy. Nothing too chaotic. Good. Inhale back up, center. Exhale towards the left. Good. Inhale back up. Exhale, very slight back bend. Opening up through the chest, looking up towards the ceiling. Good. Back to center. And exhale, hinge slightly forward, bend through the knees, and just push the hands as if you're pushing them against a wall. Very nice. Raise back up on the inhale and slowly drop the hands down. Bringing the chin to chest, we will bend down. Next, allowing the shoulders to cave forward. And then beginning to roll down into a forward fold, one vertebrae at a time. Bend through the knees as much as you need to. Only go as far as is comfortable. Good. As you inhale, now going the reverse order, starting from the lower back, begin to build back up. One vertebrae at a time. Shoulders open back up, and the chin is the last thing to raise. Good. We'll do that one more time. Taking a deep breath in. Exhale, chin to chest. Shoulders draw in. Upper back, middle back, lower back, down. Inhale, we stack back up. Lower back, middle back, upper back, shoulders, neck, chin raises back up. Very nice. We'll do two more here before we end with the pranayama practice. Step your right foot forward, about 1.5 feet, nothing too crazy, 1.5 feet. On the inhale, elongate through the side body, elongate through your chest. Exhale, hinge forward through the hips, just coming halfway. Good. Coming into a pyramid pose. If you need support, you can lay your hands on your thighs or your shins. whatever is most comfortable to you. Good. On your next inhale, using your core, using the glutes, slowly begin to raise back up. Good. Step the right foot back, left foot forward. Very nice. Inhale, raise up just a little bit taller. Exhale, hinge to a halfway point. Very nice. Continue to breathe deeply. Very nice. On the inhale, slowly raising back up. Bring the feet back together. Hands down by our side. Same way that we started, we end before we move to our pranayama. Close the eyes. Take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Last one in and out. Good. Go ahead and come back to a comfortable seat. And the pranayama that we're going to practice is called Chandana Bandhana. Yeah, Chandra Vedana. There we go. So this is left nostril breathing. For those that have practiced pranayama before, you may have done this. This is a cooling breath. Before we go to bed, we never want to utilize an energetic breath. With left nostril breathing, it is very similar to alternate nostril breathing. Only difference is that here you inhale through the left, exhale through the right, and that is the only pattern you follow. With alternate, you do both sides. In this case, it is inhale left, exhale right. One thing to note, if you are someone who does have low blood pressure, my suggestion is to just be cautious as you do this, because it is one that is known to be very calming, to be very cooling. And some of the benefits of it too is it helps to decrease that amount of heat that we build up in the body, not just physically, but also when we build up heat mentally. It's a good one to sort of calm us down real quick. So we'll do it together. Sitting up nice and tall, making sure that the lungs are open. Good. We'll start with 3 normal breaths. Agreed, Rita, all of us. 3 normal breaths, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Inhale, exhale. Last one, inhale, exhale. Using your right hand, bring the thumb and close the right nostril and rest your ring finger just next to the left nostril. Good. So right nostril is closed. Inhale through the left. Close the left. Exhale through the right. Close the right. Inhale through the left. Close the left. Exhale through the right. Close the right. Inhale left. Close left. Exhale right. We'll do that 2 more times at your own pace. Good. As you finish up that last round, release the hand down and bring the breath back by taking 3 breaths again. If it is comfortable to do so, close the eyes. Take a moment. As we begin to wrap up our celebration, may we all carry the qualities of Ganga with us each day. Her clarity, generosity, and purpose. Thank you all. Thank you for sharing your time with me today. And I pass it back to Vivekji to close out this wonderful evening. Namaste.
Good evening again. As part of our Calm the Body movement, there is an offering of our Tan, that's us training for a half marathon, our Dhan, that's us supporting or being allies of the Alliance, and Man, that is us understanding how important Devi Ganga is. When I started at 9 p.m. and now it's 9:56 p.m., it seems like minutes ago that I had started. And really, this is indicative of how, I'll use a more secular word, talented our community is. Talented in singing, talented in encouraging, talented in calming, being together in the form of coming to unity with this community is very easy, very effective. The final part of our Devi Ganga celebration is distilling our needs. If you could meet Devi Ganga and ask her for one of your needs to be amplified. And I share that because factually, every one of us already has all we need. If we need it, we have it. That's the design of the multiverse. That's the design of the creator. But if there's a need that you would like to be amplified, accentuated, what would that need be? And relatedly, there's a group of us that are going to Gangotri, going to Gomukh. This need that you're reflecting on in your heart, you can write this down. In the chat, there's a prayer link that's being shared right now. And you can offer your prayers to Bhagavati Ganga, to Devi Ganga. And Vivek and our Yatris, we will organize these. And when we get to Gomukh, then I will offer these prayers to Bhagavati Ganga on your behalf. On your behalf. So please reflect on your needs are already met, but maybe there's a need that is in your heart more. And enter this in the link that's being shared right now. And you can spread this to whoever. You can have multiple prayers that are being offered just from your side. But for all of you who are such sincere seekers, try to make this needs-based. We don't want to be encouraging everyone. I want this. It's not a wish list of new cars you want and new gadgets you want. That's very anti-loving Earth. They should be needs-based. Okay, so that's in the chat. Everyone inhale deeply through your nose. Feel how good you feel just breathing. Feel the pressure on your feet. The pressure created against being on the ground. And without this ground, we would be able to do nothing. Sarve bhavantu sukinaha, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhaved. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Be joy. Have a joyous night.